All right. Emma's just looking at an article, so I just want to have a little chat about it after she reads out what the article's got to say. What's this article? It's about is it the Victorian Police? Which police is it? New South Wales Police.
Yeah, body of a woman found inside a car outside a police station in New South Wales. The body is believed to have been inside the car for days before being discovered. Yeah, it just says police said a critical incident investigation is underway after officers found the body of a 48-year-old woman inside a car outside a police station about 4:30 Friday. Paramedics reported to the scene, however, she was unable to be revived and declared dead at the scene.
Oh, she's already been dead for days.
Yeah, I know, that's very weird.
But that's their steps, paperwork
They still
steps.
have to check to see if they can try
Like a
and bring it
pilot
back,
before he takes off does paperwork steps.
Yeah.
It's part of their job. But they're also meant to do other things with the paperwork steps to find out what's happening. And is the paperwork steps working, right, when it comes to certain areas? And when they don't, you need to upgrade the paperwork steps. That's how they mainly run when it comes to the basics of how they run. Right? That's what they say. But not every officer, it's like an employee at a workplace, does exactly how they're meant to do their job, be nice to a customer and present themselves certain ways and or do the work in certain ways. Right? And so you have problems in all sorts of sectors. And if you have a weak link in certain areas, they can make your whole place go down because of these weak links. So how do I see that in the stories I've been talking about lately, people? Well, I've asked God, and when it comes to my story too, about we can put this evidence right in people's face. How can we explain this, God? These are things I've been talking about lately, I talk to God. How can we show them, as I go, do you see, and all that kind of stuff, what things are happening, where things are having problems, how you can have things right there in front of the police station, and yet that's not even really important. It doesn't matter if it's 100k away, which is sort of sad because they usually used to say if you did something close to a police station, you were stupid. Isn't that right, Emma?
Yeah.
But yet it'll show that someone can put a car there with a dead body in it, and it'll be days before they find it, right? Which is what I talked about once before when it comes to vets and people handing in vets, animals to a vet or a place where they can dump it, and they will sit days in front of a vet, right? Because of the paperwork steps, right? But there's other things that you can do. You can still have those paperwork steps, but you can also have a righteous steps that go with it, from the heart, as they would say. And what you could do is when you see, say, a dog left outside all day long, and you can make your assumptions of what you know from the heart, right? Which is what a lot of people are meant to do in certain areas. And you get the dog. This is what I would do, right? If I seen someone leave a dog in front of a place or something there, suspicious, you go check it out. Perhaps that's what the police did after 3 days, that something was there and not right. Right? You're not meant to see you know everything, so you can't always have a go at certain areas of why it failed. But you can always upgrade things or make it better of why it failed. There is camera systems and stuff like that around police stations. Perhaps later on when they get AIs, or if they want to employ more people, which they don't really need to do, or want to do, sorry, in the police force here, is they need more people, so you don't want to waste an area where people are looking at cameras, right? But you can certainly have an AI, or request for an AI to
Very nice comments here.
to do such things. But anyway, I've been asking God to just show them, and have it easier for them. How would they run if they got it delivered to them? How long would it take? Right? Which is a little bit part of the story I've been talking about. Is that you can have all this evidence and yet it won't matter. You could probably call a person up and go, look, there's perhaps a person dead in the car, but they might still wait a few days, right? Or do they need that? And if they need that, then it shows that how much the police rely on a system of us, right? And if that's true, they'd want to make sure that they treat us right But if you're treating us wrong in that area as well, like say handing evidence and then you become the number one suspects and stuff like that, or if you hand in evidence that will protect the bad guys' rights, right, then people won't, you're not going to have no one on your side, and you might as well just scrap that whole program altogether. It will not work, which is sad. And so that's all I've pretty much got to say, really, when it comes to that. Thought I'd have a quick chat in the diary. Yeah.
It's right there, and they still couldn't even find this person's body. Like, how do they not know it's there? They not see this random car in their car park?
Is there a car park?
It was in the police station. Like, you know,
Car park, yeah, with a person in it.
at the front of the police station.
Like, just sitting in
At
this
the police
chair.
station.
Yeah. It's shocking. And yeah, you know what? Bad guys could do such a thing just to find out, how good's his system.
Yeah, parked outside the police station.
If we can kill a person, have a dead person right there, you can imagine what we can do over there. That's sad, isn't it? It's a way of how bad guys can start shaming the police, right? By doing things like that.
Well, check out all the comments people wrote.
And I bet you they're shaming the police.
Yeah, they're not very observant.
Yeah.
Like, how do they not know? Do they not check random cars that just hang around for days?
Yep. And see, most people too will rather complain about a situation than to try to fix it. There's not many people that can complain and help out, which is what I usually do. But even doing that can get you into trouble, which is that.
Yeah, someone's comment said literally came right to them and they still couldn't find it.
Yeah. We've even had recent bad guys when I started doing my prayer. I noticed the first one. The guy drove right into their station. It's like, how much easier could their job get done, right? Come straight to them.
Someone's like, they couldn't smell it, like, you know, she passed away.
It usually takes a couple of days by the big stink, but there you go. Perhaps that's how they found it.
Someone said, how is the Goon Squad supposed to know what's going on in their own front yard when they're all busy chasing after $100 bills up and down the highway?
Yeah.
They're probably trapped in speed.
Yeah, and pulling over people with their faulty tests that other countries don't use because they're not liable and they're not right. But Australia does, sadly.
One person's like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Yeah, because when it comes to using things that science proves it's faulty, it's not legit, and you're fining and punishing people and getting money, well, what are you? You're no different than the crook, right? That's what crooks do, right? But they're allowed to because they made a laws that they can, but you can't. It's on the list, kind of. That's what I keep talking about. So it sucks that their list is not righteous or has a science base of why they have that list. It just is someone got in and goes, all right, I'm going to put this on the list. Like I talked about in the clip, how I go, shit, if I get in, I can just put this on the list and they're going to follow it. There's no righteousness to it. That's what I'm talking about. That's sad. Huh? Anyway, and then you got to fight to get it off the list. This idiot comes in and puts it on there for you. And it took ages for people to do it. It's sad. Very sad outcomes that constantly happen. Huh? And once you have a force that's meant to be protecting you that's failing, well, what does that mean? Right? It gets scary, doesn't it? It means you haven't really got a system. It's a facade company. It looks good. It's a Chinese product. Right? It looks good, but it doesn't really do the job. It's not going to last. You don't want to read any other comments?
One just said, well, maybe they should get off their asses.
Maybe they should get off their bumps. Maybe they should be having a different rule book, like I said, and a bit different training. Is the training, these things you'd have to look up a bit later, but it wouldn't surprise me. Is their training the old same training they did 20 years ago? And if they go yes, you can easily say in a lot of areas, definitely in areas where there is change and you need to change, that there you go, they're still doing the old ways. They don't know what they're doing. Like I talk about when it comes to YouTube and what you can do on YouTube and how things can be set up and they can be actually working for the bad guys and stuff like that, which is what they're doing, people, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Right? They don't even know YouTube, and yet they're using these laws and that law. And we've got all these laws that they can use this law and that law, and so you need to turn into this lawyer because of all the confusion, which is what the devil likes to create to get away with what it does. Creates a lot of confusion and just goes, look here. Kind of thing. But anyway, there you go. So I thought I'd just have a little chat about that, and see you later. So hopefully these areas get sorted. But if they don't, what are we going to see? You look back in the politicians and stuff like that, you'll see it worse now. They even tell each other, which is another sad story. Because that means they just get nowhere. They're yelling at each other, and they know, right? And then they don't get anywhere. Sadly, I've noticed the last time they did is when something bad happens. Isn't that the same thing with the police? They do a good clean-up job, and then they do a good investigation of the list, but it's all usually too late. It's all usually not working, and there's cabinets stacking up. Right? So that means usually at a company, and that means they're losing money, losing revenue, losing clients in all sorts of ways. That means you need to do something about it, majorly and quickly too. The quicker the better, because the longer you wait, the bigger the fallout in all sorts of ways, isn't it? But seriously.